This looks like a good game. You might have to play it yourself. It's been a lot of fun so far, especially like the combats as they've gotten longer and we're starting to get more tools in the toolbox. They're very,
Why had the
there's like a
path to the
zen
Sky
flow
Ripper
to
only
them.
surfaced now, thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had dismantled it? The mad Emperor Isengrim had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Was that why these ancient artifacts were rising out of the ground? How perfect, then, that the Sky Ripper would reappear to be his destruction.
Man, I can get behind some like lost old gods nonsense. I hope we get to fight them.
Fresh meat.
What were you fools thinking? They brought a party of 3. Fighting lost old gods is how fresh new gods are made. Yo, Reynardo gonna transcend. Just looks and seems so smooth to play. It is. It's not necessarily like completely butter. Like I will say one thing that keeps sticking in my craw is there's a little bit of like when you slash at an enemy, you can kind of like warp into them. It's got that, like I keep saying, kind of like that Batman, Rocksteady's modern Batman games feel to it. But it doesn't work for things like environments. So like when I go to slash barrels, I keep on like, I like limp arm it. Okay, Warlock, you're gonna get a dose first. Get out. Oh, y'all thought you were smooth. So, again, I feel as though that was impossibly loud.
Reynardo was remembering all
I just
his
don't
old
understand
tricks,
at this point.
and some new ones. Now, he really ought to ask for a raise.
There's something, man, that's weird. Oh, it sounded fine, man. That's crazy because I looked down and it my OBS meter peaked like crazy. All right, well, you guys are the ones that have to hear it more importantly because I can turn it up and down in my headphones anyway. Use the fire sword next time we get a group.
Weapon was exactly what the rebellion needed. They were outnumbered. The once kind emperor had become a tyrant. But his ravens stayed loyal, for he fed them his victims, and the other animals were too frightened to rebel. Reynardo shuddered at what the emperor was trying to do. To bring back the lost gods, the Black Harvest, the Black Sun? No. He would stop that toad, no matter what the risk.
We gonna stop that toad, fam. Can lower it in OBS. So the problem isn't necessarily lowering it in OBS versus the game.
You're hooked.
The issue is that it seems to fluctuate so hard. I get it to a spot where I feel like it's good and then it's not. So regardless, it would need to go and get tweaked a bunch. I guess I mean, I could go and add like compression on it in OBS so that if it does go really high, just throw a compression filter on the actual source so that it at least doesn't blow out. But we'll see. I don't know if that's necessary. Fix it with an update? You'd hope so, right? But unfortunately, the game's pretty old at this point and is definitely not Spearhead's current
Reynardo's
focus.
path was clear.
I wonder if there's maybe
scientists
a
ensure the
mod
Sky
or
Ripper
something
was
that
safe
someone
to
has done
use.
that fixes it.
Bring it to the rebel base.
Or it could be an issue that no one else
Then
has.
assault the Imperial fleet for the win.
We could insult the Imperial fleet for the win.
Hey, a workbench. He could try out his new bling.
All right, so we now have an attack speed increase, which, not gonna lie, sounds very exciting. And We can make a new sword. So we could upgrade the Firestorm, right? Which at a glance is awesome. But we can also make the Winterthorn, and I gotta tell you, I feel like multiple swords at level 1, at least early, better than many swords leveled up. So let's go ahead and make the Winterthorn.
This sword from the frigid north was really useful for making popsicles and birdsicles.
We gonna make some birdcicles? I'm just here for more doors. Like I can use any sword to mess with some ravens. All right, so this one, why is there a, oh, it changes what side the wall is on. Clever, clever, okay. Ooh, this is kind of fun. That one snuck through.
Energy spheres.
Hey.
Easy to dodge, but boy do they sting if you didn't pay attention.
Or if your completely useless bastion wall didn't actually stop them and you were stuck on the lever. Nonsense.
Boy,
Ooh,
some
a new
people are
guy.
just liable to explode if you upset them.
Oh no. Watch out for explosive ravens. When hit or thrown, they will explode after a few seconds. Use it to your advantage. All right, so we just triggered him. I do want to heal, so we're gonna need to switch back to the hero sword
Sharp?
for a second.
Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check. What else do you need in a sword?
I need essence before we can use our super abilities. If we have a chance to increase our essence meter as a stat upgrade, that is something I would very much consider doing.
That had gone beautifully. Where was a bard when you needed one?
You don't need no bard, I'm gassing him up. Reynardo, you're a beast. All right. So probably worth upgrading the fire sword here because it's gonna be a while before we have enough to make the air
Reynardo
sword.
had always wanted a flying carpet. This was more like a flying tabletop, but it would do.
I mean, it's all right. Look, it's better than my car, so I'll take it. Where are the scientists? I'm a little worried that their outpost is so overrun with exploding enemies. Like, not what you want to see in a laboratory setting.
Reynardo was thrilled. The scientists seemed to think he'd put the
Flying
Skyripper
tabletop,
together
so
right.
correct.
But one toad was worried.
Yeah, the Skyripper could tear a hole in existence itself. There
This
are
guy's nerd
invisible
voice rules.
strings that tie the universe together. If the Skyripper cut one, the hole would widen and widen until our whole existence fell into it.
Another toad sighed. Irving still believes in string theory,
At least go see Calaveras.
yeah, said the worried toad.
He knows more than anyone else has forgotten about the Transcendent Emperor.
If anyone could tell him how to use this
a
weapon
wise
safely,
old, wise
it
old
would be
sage.
Calaveras.
That's up
It
my
was he
alley.
who had told Reynardo how to
But
find
my
it in
car's
the
better
first
than
place.
Nisha's.
But
My car basically is
maybe
Nisha's
he had to give
now.
up on using it as a weapon. Maybe he had to go to the secret rebel base and ask the generals there what he could do with a weapon that he dared not use.
I mean, I think we want to check in with Calaveras, right? The High Sage. Calaveras, the High... Wait, we have the beginning part to read, too. So the Skyripper could destroy existence itself. If there was the slightest chance that was true... Calaveras, the High Sage, was the final authority in legendary artifacts. If anyone could dispel Reynardo's doubts, it would be him. Or Reynardo had to assume the worst and not use the Skyripper. Maybe he should bring it to the rebel base. Maybe there was a way to use the super weapon without using it. Oh, like just threaten with it? My car was a beauty. She's just a bit old now. Chris's car is still in the prime of his life. Look, there's nothing wrong with Misha's car. It's a grand old car.
Well,
But my
he
car's
should
a
have
little
known
newer.
he'd have to consult Calaveras again. The scientists at the observatory were smart enough. But what did they know of the transcendent Emperor? He hoped it wouldn't delay him too long. The rebels had scheduled the final battle soon. Every day they delayed risked the exposure of the secret base. And some soldiers were already drifting back to their homes and families. Calaveras would fix the Sky Ripper for him, and then he would win the final battle.
Very optimistic. I like that energy, Reynardo.
Maybe it was the cold. But after a few steps, Reynardo's optimism started to slump. What if Calaveras couldn't help? Did Reynardo dare use the Sky Ripper? Oh, he hated that he had chosen this path. It was so much simpler to rescue friends and attack enemies. Even if some of those friends were more trouble than his enemies, some of those enemies had been friends before and might be lovers after. No, okay. It wasn't all that much simpler, no. Physics made his brain hurt. That, at least he was sure of.
I love that the other storylines bleed in with the narrator. That's very funny.
Reynardo hoped his mother wasn't watching.
She is. Your mother is actually a viewer here on ChrisVsBacklog. I hate to break it to you, Reynardo. Blasted.
Tried to focus on the now. The ravens who seemed everywhere all the time. Where did they hatch from? Were there giant raven hatcheries somewhere, or did they have families? Ooh, he didn't want to think about raven mummies raising their darling raven chicks. Yeah, Calaveras would help. He would make Reynardo feel better about using the Sky Ripper. And then Reynardo wouldn't have to worry about ravens ever again.
I mean, I hope that isn't me basically saying that Reynardo is going to, like, genocide the entirety of Raven kind. Like, surely there are good ravens. I guess you just won't have to worry about ravens that are part of the Imperial Army. Because that's okay. That I can accept.
The worst thing about ravens was they never dropped any loot, and no one ever wanted the feathers.
She's probably gonna have to admit her son can clear them mobs. Yeah, she's not gonna give me a hard time at Thanksgiving this year. That's for sure. Reynardo, I saw you on that ChrisVsBacklog. You're doing a good job with all the extra baddies. All right, so there's a thing down here. Do these branch to different spots in the level?
Reynardo wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles.
Oh, wait, I can't get back over. You were doing such a good job against those ravens, but I saw you in that snowy ice level. Reynardo, where's your coat? You gotta wear your coat. I worry, you're gonna catch a cold. Oh, I definitely hit him. That one was nonsense.
That hurt.
I definitely thought I had enough time to get through that guy and get over to the warlock. It's not cold, Ma. Well, it's not when I'm getting lit up by the warlock, so maybe that's my solution for the coat thing. I'm just like, no, Mom, I don't need a coat. I just stand in oversized infernos meant to absolutely incinerate. Besides, I was only out there for like 10 minutes. I do have a noticeable lack of health and essence with which to heal it, which is a bummer.
Reynardo felt a little better.
Chest behind me. Missed chest. What's wrong with me? You know what? It's because I was cold. Why? Wait. What the hell's going on? Is it because I dashed? I don't think I was on the staircase. I think I was on the railing. I think I was on the banister. Where was the chest? Over here? Yeah. There we go. Okay. Some more goodies, some more essence, some ore. We'll grab all this essence because the next
chest
fight
was
I'll use
really
it.
horrible. Get it?
Narrator, come on now. I will say it gives me a little time pause now when I slash destructibles, and that also is perhaps unnecessary. I did heal all the way up though, so you know what? Game, don't listen to me. Do whatever you want. All right, we're off to see Toad Sage. Man, I'm always so like driven to get all these destructibles, and it's just so not necessary. I almost wish they didn't ever have ore in them, because that way when you were at full essence, full health, you weren't compelled to do it. I think you get an upgrade to change that. Man, the action on the grapple hook feels real good.
Well, he could take her or leave her.
Oh, narrator.
Sorry. It's best I could do. The rebels were counting on Reynardo. He hoped Calaveras knew what he was doing.
From Naruto? What from Naruto? Ooh, all right. So what else do we want here? A grab damage is maybe just a way to blow points later. Oh, the Toad Sage from Naruto. Yo, that would be amazing if we got to the top of this mountain and it was just Jiraiya. And he was like, yeah, I get it. Your super weapon. But listen, let's go look for girls. Max stamina gives us an extra dash gauge, which I feel is better for exploration than combat on the buy. More health, I don't think is a bad idea. More damage off of a counter, or dash through enemies in combat. Hey, Venom, what's up? I think I'm gonna take the health, because we've dropped a couple times from like basically getting one shot, so I think having a little bit more health is not a bad idea. What is up, wise Toad Sage?
Calaveras had never let him down.
Yeah, of course I can make it work better.
But
Oh, man,
when
I love
Reynardo
this guy.
explained about the strings, Calaveras grew thoughtful.
Oh, strings, you say? Well, the Arcana do speak of the ties that bind the world.
He drew many intricate symbols in the dirt.
Yeah, so, according to my calculations, each time you fire, I'm afraid there's a 1 in 120 chance you'll destroy the universe.
That's pretty good odds. That's like rolling, what, 21 dice and they all come up 6.
What are the odds of that?
What? No! It's more like 2.716s in a row.
Anyway, with those odds, it won't happen if I use it just once.
What? No. That's so not right. Look, each time you use it... Okay, look. Just don't use it ever. At all, okay?
All right, I guess.
As he
I love
sailed
that
away from the
Reynardo's like,
mountain,
no, teach me statistics.
Reynardo could see clouds darkening. Rain? No.
I say we use
Ships.
it. I'm with you after.
Imperial ships, swarming thick as bees.
This was it. The big battle. They could not afford to lose this one. What if it did not go well? What if he had to use the Sky Ripper? Could he gamble the universe?
Obviously.
On the other hand, what were the odds of rolling 21 sixes in a row?
When you are a dashing sky pirate, you use the danged weapon. Why did they even tell him the
battle
odds?
was not going spectacularly well.
No
What had the
other
rebels been
choice.
thinking? They'd been thinking he would bring the Sky Ripper, or the Iblis Stone, or that he'd sideline Zenobia somehow, or turn her. Couldn't he use the Sky Ripper just once? After all, if chances were 1 in 128, that meant he'd for sure be okay the first time. They'd get worse each time he used it, but the first time would be okay, right? He wasn't sure that it was right. So he didn't fire the Sky Ripper. He just brought it along, in case.
In case he fired it. Come on. There's a 200 or a 127 out of 128 chance that we're the freaking hero. So we can't open you yet. We're getting close to being able to Skylander our way through all the doors, though. Make another one, and if the first one goes bad, use the second one to destroy the first. It's just simple math.
Good. Yet.
This one was almost hidden off screen. They tried to be sneaky and deprive me of a chest. Oh, thank you. I like that you don't give up your essence cubes. It's not about like find the essence and then use it as a crafting material. It's like you need to have enough of it.
Portal. Go through another universe. If so, could the lost gods use one of them to return from exile? The thought made him shiver.
All right, so big portal. I like that I tripped the narration for this while we were in the middle of combat. That was a little bit weird. Windsword was your favorite? I'm a fan of wind blades in most gaming applications.
It wasn't his fault. They look so breakable.
Now that's not a good defense, Reynardo. It's not their fault that they are of flimsy material. You have to just control yourself. Ooh, boy. Look, it wasn't the cleanest combat, but we got it done. Yeah, use it. If it's going sideways, I can just wake up again on the Farfarer fleeing a burning city. Peace, nerds. Sorry about your apocalypse.
Reynardo wondered if it wasn't cheaper to build bridges and stairs.
I mean, at this height, almost certainly it is not. It may seem impractical, but it is in fact a pretty good usage of resources to just have this armada here. Ooh. I'm trying to... I want to get this guy over here. Okay, well, wasn't perfect execution. I'm willing to admit that. Yo, I just cleaved that Raven in twain. Could throw the exploders. I forgot. That's a good idea. Instead of pulling them in. I've been trying to like pull them in and use them kind of as like mines
Someone had told
almost.
him the odds didn't change just because you'd had a streak of good luck. His gut told him that was wrong, though. And he always listened to his gut. On the other hand, 128 chances to win. But one of them, he'd destroy the universe. Ooh, that seemed a bit serious. Maybe he could defeat the Emperor without firing the Sky Ripper. Maybe he could bluff, but with a real weapon. Like in cards, when you had 3 knaves, but you pretended you had a fizzbin. That could work.
I never joke about having a fizzbin.
Whee!
Just the "wee" from the narrator is excellent. There we go. Little bonus health. That 1 plank of wood, man, it's on a mission. Bye. Oh boy. Oh. All right. Why don't you guys all chill out? Oh, I just missed. Oh, what is happening? Thank you. Sloppy. I tried 2 or 3 times to grab a guy in the midst of the chaos, and one of them there I even grabbed a guy and then like just threw him short. Gonna need to work on that. That ship on the other side there is so intriguing because it looks like it's something I should be able to get to, but there's no hook to get across. So I'm wondering if we like activate more hooks later somehow. Ooh, another newbie, another mage. I like how they introduced the new enemies. Enchanters can buff and heal enemies. Buffed ravens are very dangerous. Oh, okay. Well then, just kill the raven. Duh. Still enemies up. It works. You fools. Ooh, is that the Emperor himself?
Sky Ripper and let it warm up. He would bluff if he had to. Zenobia came out, flanked by a very daunting platoon of ravens. You won't actually use that, she said in that annoying, I know everything because I'm a cat and you know nothing because you're just a fox voice she had. Or I know the odds.
My
Good.
cat has that voice
Because
too.
there's a real chance you could destroy the universe. No, not the first time I use it. The odds are too low. What? No? Yeah, sure. The first time, the odds are practically nothing. They only go up if I use it a bunch more times. No, but that's not how odds work. Didn't you pay attention?
I love that they're
in class?
really hammering
Now
home that no one
surrender,
understands
or I'll
odds.
use it. Just once, he said. Don't.
He felt sure the odds were with him. You had to go with his gut. That's what heroes do. Fire, he said. Please? The Sky Ripper fired. With a tremendous whoosh, the Emperor's flagship went up in flames. It was awesome. And then he noticed there was a hole in the air. A blackness, like a tear in a parchment.
Wind was blowing into it, widening it. It grew larger and even larger. Crates fell upwards into it, and the world itself seemed bent, like the reflection on a curved mirror, as it poured into the ravenous hole. Ah, 1 in 128. What are the odds?
The odds are
Thought
exactly
Reynardo.
1 in
And
128.
then everything fell into the hole and was gone.
I mean, we did
Reynardo
kind of
stared
solve
at
the
book.
problem, though.
He was still alive. Again.
Not a way
And
you'd
still
want to
only
solve
flying
it,
away from
but
burning Ubar.
away.
Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really died?
Story number 21,
It
The
felt
Sky
so
Rover's Guide to
real,
the
not
Galaxy.
like a dream at all.
What kind of hero
And
are
he'd
you?
lost
A
again.
hero who is willing to
He
risk
hated
space,
that.
time, the universe, and
But
everything.
he
if the
had
odds
made
are in his
different
favor.
choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it? Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learned another true thing. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly.
Okay, so we have another truth, which is wonderful. So it looks as though we have a truth that is related to Zenobia, right? She's the only cat that I know of. So we're going to have to go down a hard Zenobia run. But we do also have that new artifact that opened up in the desert area. And I think that's the one I want to explore on this next run. I think that's the one that's maybe got like the most pressing ability to give us some new narration. But for me to do that, for us to dive into another destiny, I'm going to need to drink up. If we're heading to the desert, I need water for it. So I'm going to go fill up my water bottle. If you have an empty water bottle, I'm going to suggest that you go and do the same thing. Let's get our waters ready for the second half of the stream. I'll be back in 2 minutes. All right. Back for another
That meant
run.
There must be a destiny where he survived and won, right? Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Reynardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it
Iblis
before he
Stone.
does,
That's what we
thought
wanna check
Reynardo.
out.
And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
He absolutely could, because he is more interested in the Iblis Stone. A mysterious temple has risen out of the desert. The Emperor has sent his ravens to search for the Iblis Stone. The ancient artifact may contain the power to bring down the Empire.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The
Naturally.
Iblis Stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Reynardo went ostrich hunting.
As one does.
Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
Temple is fun. This is like an A+ setting in my book. Like the plumb the hidden depths of a long buried temple is such a good trope. So we're 1 ore shy of upgrading the fire sword. That's a bummer. I mean, I guess it won't be long until we have a chance to do it. Oh, maybe right here. Let's go.
That ought to be enough for a proper sword, you thought?
Oh, they'll tell me that. That's nice. I didn't realize that it'll just automatically tell me when I have another one unlocked. Okay. So once we ignite, or once we upgrade it, it does like an AoE, which sounds awful helpful. Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, looking good, Firestorm. Alright. Desert Temple, Burning Blade. I'm about this. Story's the Path of Destiny is going straight Conan now.
Steps were too tall for a person. The entire place felt restless, like it had been vexed to nightmare under the dust, waiting for its hour to come around at last.
Ooh. Elevator gauntlet fight.
Those flames really bring out your eyes.
The daze time we get from... Oh, I just stood there while that guy exploded. That was dumb. From a thrown enemy is very helpful.
Reynardo, the ravens were already here.
Love it.
Cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
Ooh, we have our tier 3 skills now too, because we've unlocked another truth. So hold up. All kinds of choices. Hook shot damage. Inflict damage on hooked enemies. Okay. Dash through shields. We would have to spend both points to get to that, but that seems pretty helpful. Freeze time for everyone but Reynardo when countering an attack at the last second lasts a few seconds. Okay. Kick and throw distances are increased. Increase maximum sword energy. Yes, that one we definitely want. I think I'm gonna put 1 point into this to get some more sword magic. And then we might as well take time mastery just so that the time tree is set. Now that we are a master of time here in this desert temple, we got like real Prince of Persia vibes. That was garbage. We need to heal. Oop, I did not go in time.
Did not feel well. In
fact, he felt dead. I love it. All right, we're gonna start with heal on this one. Let's get back up to fighting form here. I just did it again where I tried to like Hollow Knight dodge out of the way. Yeah, so when we got this like cool shimmer effect is when we've activated the super dodge. That's pretty fun. I like that. There we go. Got a little bit of a rhythm going at the end there. It started a little choppy, but we made it. I would love a way to accumulate sword magic in the middle of a fight. Narrator is awesome, Joe. I think that it's definitely a case of he is the strongest part, I think, of the design of the game. which sounds silly because he's not the thing I control. So you would be like, well, wait, why does that matter? Because that's the thing giving me all of the story interactions in a story-based game. I think it's an A+ execution. Oh, we don't have, that's the wind sword? No, this is the ice sword.
Ooh, what's there?
I hope it's life and sword magic, sir. So far it has been empty pots. Ooh, hello, friend. Find the stone. You have been chosen in this critical mission for your ability to follow orders to the letter without question. Do not believe the naysayers. Your score in the intelligence test is only proof that you are better geared than anyone else to follow orders. Take pride in knowing that I, your emperor, have handpicked you for this mission. Follow the instructions to the letter. Always travel in pairs. Do not look at the engravings in the wall. Do not lose the hermetic box. When you find the stone, immediately place it in the box and seal the box. If you hear a voice in your head, ignore it. Remember, the temple is haunted, obviously. This is an old temple dedicated to an old evil god. There were blood sacrifices. Of course it would be haunted. Ignore the voice in your head. Remember, ghosts cannot hurt you, but they will try to confuse you. When you hear a voice, take the drowsy pill. If you meet another soldier with the stone and it is not in the hermetic box, immediately spray them with drowsy gas. Find the stone, put it in the box, seal the box, and most important of all, find the stone. It really makes it an experience and provides almost custom story. Absolutely. Like the fact that he chimes in when I do things, I think is really charming.